guys, welcome on in. Kyrios here, and today we're going to talk about Overpass the Bounty. This is probably the easiest one to actually get to Overpass H, just due to the academic buffs and all that goodness. But we're going to go over some of the tips that I will show you in order to get this down, some of the team comps that you could possibly do. Now, a lot of the team comps are going to be really good, are going to require some 3 stars, but you can do it with 2 stars as well. And then quickly, I just want to point this out right in the beginning. Even though the game tells you to come farm, Overpass B and Overpass C to get some of these blue bucks and some of that, you really should be farming the highest tier you possibly can. And then somewhere on my face, you could probably see my top 20 tips where I did go over that. It's very important you do that because you're not really going to get purples very often. You're really just going to get golds, blues, and beginners. So anyways, like, subscribe, all that goodness. I'll see you guys in the video. All right, tip number 1. This one's really important. I mean, obviously, just please make sure you focus on that academy buff. Now, for this one, you're definitely going to want to focus on Gehenna because we have a ton of Gehenna students. All right, number 2, the Green Power Ranger. This guy, oof, you need to kill him as soon as possible. He's the one that will mow over your whole team, so focus on taking him out early. Tip number 4, Power Rangers will run away at 50% life or less or X amount of time. You want to try and focus on hitting them as they're running off screen to kill them so you don't have to deal with them in the next wave. Tip number 4, taunting matters a lot. You want to make sure you land the taunt as they're doing their sushi dance so that stops them from doing their special attacks. Now, before we get started with comps, I just want to go over Tsubaki is probably going to be your main tank. You could use Yuka, but look at the gear on Tsubaki, right? If you can get her geared up with all that defense and everything like that, she's going to be way better at being able to tank these missions, so you can just front load a lot of DPS. All right, team number 1. This is probably going to be the easiest team if you have it all. Aru, Hibiki, and Akari are really going to be your main DPS. Shinatsu's not the best healer in the world, but since Tsubaki is really beefy, it doesn't really matter. We're just bringing her for the buff. And then I put Haruna in there mainly because she's Gehenna, and she does okay damage, but she's really just filling a spot. Team number 2 is assuming you don't have Hibiki, so maybe you still have Aru. You're going to still use the same setup, which would be Aru, Akari. You're going to want to put in Mutsuki as probably another AoE DPS. Mine's not leveled, so yours might be leveled, so bring her in there. And then you would use a similar style team, and you would put Fuka in there to keep your 250% academy buff. Now, last but not least, team number 3. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. This is assuming you don't have Aru or Hibiki. You're still going to need to get that 250%, but it's going to be a little bit harder. You're really going to need to put in Mutsuki, be level 50, level 45. Akari, they're going to be your primary AoEs. And then Serika is just really going to supply a lot of cover fire and a lot of DPS. Can you do it? Yes. Is it going to be a struggle? It will. Is there other team comps? There are. And I'd love to hear those comps that you use down below in the comments.